Well, Adam, I've assembled you here with the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon. It's important to talk about something special, something really special, and that's the GameCube. That's right.
Indeed,
Today,
indeed.
we're going to be talking about GameCube Classic Edition, specifically 30 games we think would be in the GameCube Classic Edition if Nintendo decided to make it.
And maybe one 31st secret game like they did for
Maybe
the
one 31st secret game.
SNES
'cause we're
Classic.
crazy.
Crazy.
Star Fox 3!
No way.
That's right, that's right. So I'm excited, Adam. We don't know each other's picks, so we're just gonna go start from
Nope.
the top. I think we got some pretty, like, the GameCube, like, its library. There's some, obvious bangers for sure that we'll both probably have. But I guess the way we'll format this is I'll go first, and then you'll go first, and we'll just go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So for number one, I'll write these down. So number one, Mario Sunshine, easy.
Yes, I also have that on my list. I thought maybe you wouldn't put that on because you're a hater, but there's no way you wouldn't put Mario Sunshine.
I'm a hater of Mario Sunshine specifically. I hate Mario Sunshine, but as a, if you were going to make a GameCube classic and Mario Sunshine wasn't on it, that would be seriously kind of weird.
Mario Sunshine is just it's a wonderful video game. The vibes are immaculate and the world I prefer running around the worlds of Sunshine than I do Galaxy because it's an interconnected world that people live in. And that's why I love it.
I don't agree with you on that at all, but I will say Mario Sunshine as a game, it just screams GameCube to me, if that sort of makes sense. The island of Delfino shaped like a dolphin, and that being the GameCube's internal system name, and just I don't know, something about the vibe of Mario Sunshine. It's just a GameCube game to me, which is why it's so weird to see it being ported in Super Mario 3D All Stars. It's just like that's a GameCube game. It's kind of weird to see it anywhere else,
All the GameCube games had a very distinct style. They were just like, if you saw a GameCube game, Tulip, the game Tulip, I thought that was a GameCube game for a long time just because it had that weird vibe, like all GameCube games do. And Sunshine definitely has that vibe when it introduces Petey Piranha and it just has such the big impact on the Mario series as a whole, more than I would say any other of the 3D Marios.
Yeah, it's just speaking about that weird factor. Yeah, I feel like the GameCube just screams like weird, like Chibi Robo, for example, which I think we both put on our list. I hope so. Did you put Chibi Robo there?
You'll have to find out.
Fuck. Well, I put Chibi Robo on the list, but we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, the GameCube specifically screams weird, like these weird sort of things, like the Piantas. That they were introduced in Mario Sunshine, and they're like these weird little guys.
Yeah, they're in every Mario spin-off. You see them in the stands. Doesn't matter who. You don't see the new Donkers in the stands, really.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
Alrighty.
All right. What was your next one?
Well, my first one I have on this list is just a Star Fox game. One of the two. Yeah.
Game?
So this is I'm already getting saucy with this, because there was two Star Fox games on the GameCube. There was Adventure and Assault. And while I think Assault is definitely the one that people are gonna want more, would they put Adventures to be funny? Would they put Adventures? Because from what I've heard, Adventures isn't really a bad game. It's just a very confused game, and it's kind of a bit of a Zelda copy. Is all like the worst I've heard really about it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think if Nintendo, because we're also making this list on what Nintendo would do. We're not specifically saying what we would want. We're kind of saying what we would want as well. But
Yeah.
I think for most of this list, it's like what we would think Nintendo would do. I think they're gonna do Star Fox Adventure. That's just a fucking weird game. That's never been re-released. I don't think so. And I feel like I don't know. I hear more about Star Fox. Even if Star Fox Adventure is weird, I hear more about it more than Star Fox Assault. I don't know anything about Star Fox Assault.
Star Fox Assault. Whenever I've seen it, I've looked very interested. It's like a third person. You can get out of your ship, and it's like a third person shooter when you're out of your ship, and you could go into another vehicle and do stuff. So it seemed like if we ever got a new Star Fox game, I'd love it to almost take that. But Adventures I could see them doing that because it's just different, and also they have no idea what people like about Star Fox. That's why we haven't gotten a game in like 10 years. They have no idea why people like that franchise, so they'll just do whatever.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Star Fox Adventure right now, and then maybe we can put Star Fox Assault later. We'll do Star Fox Adventure for now. Okay, next one, easy, Luigi's Mansion.
I had
another GameCube brain game. It's just weird, why did the GameCube launch with not a Mario game, but instead of a Luigi game? But I'm very happy they did because I love Luigi's Mansion. And like in the future, if they ever actually did make a GameCube classic, I think Luigi's Mansion is just one of those like very first games I would play. And it's also one of my like childhood GameCube games where like I just envision, you know, like that screen where it's like Nintendo, and then it launches the game. I don't know, just something about that just screamed GameCube to me.
Yeah, the Luigi's we're talking about that weird vibe. Luigi's Mansion is definitely the birthing of that vibe. I mean, to even launch the Nintendo GameCube with like a Luigi game, not a Mario game. I mean, that's kind of what a lot of people weren't super into this when it came out. You know, similar situation with Wind Waker, where people were like, "Why? I want a Mario game. I don't want this shit. I want my Mario game." And then we got Luigi's Mansion. But now Luigi's Mansion is looked upon as I genuinely think Luigi's Mansion is a perfect video game. I think it's as close to a perfect video game that exists. It's replayable.
I think I honestly would agree with that too. Yeah, it's just a very short, just fun experience. There's no like downside to Luigi's Mansion.
I stream it every year, and every time I get the funny Mario Come song, and it's perfect. It's the perfect video game. Yo, that's Mario 3. Da 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 da. It's the. God, you know what that was? You know what song that was? You know what song that was? You know what, guys, you know what song that was? Driving and I'm speeding and I'm vigorously What? I get
Don't make me play the Mario Come song for context.
Put it right now. Put it here right now.
God damn it! Now I have to edit the Mario Come song. Christ.
But yeah, it's and you know, it got ported to 3DS, but I still think that it got ported to 3DS and it has its 2 sequels, but I still think the first one on the GameCube is just the best, and the controller was also made for it. Perfect.
Same thing with it being ported to the 3DS too. Like when I see that, like it just looks wrong when I see Luigi's Mansion the original running on the 3DS. Like it doesn't like feel like it should be there. That is a GameCube game, like to me, and it just feels weird that it's on the 3DS. I actually forgot that was ported.
I played it. It was all right.
Is it good?
It was pretty decent. Made some good changes.
Yeah, and also yeah, speaking of like how weird it is, like a game that's not even a platform either. It's like a weird like I don't even know how to describe it.
It's more akin to a Resident Evil game.
Baby's first survival horror.
Yeah, it's more akin to like a Resident Evil game, going around getting keys, getting items.
Yeah, but like yeah, classic for the GameCube classic.
Yep.
All right, what's your next one?
My next one, I'm just kind of going down the list now. Billy Hatcher.
Okay.
This is a game.
My first ones are like classic ones. You're throwing out already Star Fox and Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher's another one of those ones where I don't think it's a great game, but honestly, when I thinking about GameCube games, Billy Hatcher pops up. Like when I'm thinking about like the non-big boys, I'm thinking that yeah, Billy Hatcher, that's a game that was then like people know about. You know what I mean?
I know a little bit about. I was really interested in it. I think I saw it, Billy Hatcher, first in like a Nintendo Power magazine, and I was like, oh my god, this game looks so sick. But then I never like actually got it. But I haven't heard too much about it. From what I've heard it's like it's all right, not like a very great game.
I played it.
And it's developed by Sonic Team, which is kind of interesting.
I played it a little bit once. It was all right. You have to like use both sticks to like move around the egg, and it's reminds me. It's almost like a mix of like. There's a move where you could like shoot the egg. It almost reminds me of Pac-Man's Rev Roll from the Pac-Man World games, where you like rev it up and then you shoot the egg. It's almost like you could almost take a few, you know, make them better, but you could almost take a few elements of this and make like a 3D Yoshi game. And then the character design with the Sonic Team, yeah, you could definitely tell like the main characters. I think they actually all look really appealing. It kind of remind me of Doraemon a little bit as well.
Okay, so this is where I think we're gonna get some controversy, because I feel like if Nintendo were to make a GameCube classic, I don't think they'd include Billy Hatcher as like a Sonic Team game. I think.
Well, that's it's not the only Sonic Team game I have on here.
Shit. I think okay, I'm gonna highlight Billy Hatcher because I feel like that one's gonna be the first on the chopping block. Okay, but I don't know a lot about Billy Hatcher. It's cool. But I don't think it would be my first for like a GameCube classic, especially like a third-party game.
Yup. All right. What do you got?
I got Wave Race. I wrote Wave Race 64. Why did I write Wave Race 64? It's Wave Race.
That's not a GameCube game. That's
not a game.
The Nintendo 64.
Wave Race for the GameCube. Wave Race Blue Storm. That's the name. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Wave Race Blue Storm. As a kid, this is the game, like, I think when I first saw it, also in like a Nintendo Power magazine, I was like, holy shit, Mom, look at the graphics. It's like real. It's like water. And still to this day, Wave Race Blue Storm's graphics, they're really like good for its time. Like I always forget that game is like a GameCube game. It looks almost like kind of like a Wii game, or like maybe like a PS2 sort of game.
We kind of skimmed past this with Sunshine, but Sunshine also, that and Wave Race both have just great looking water. The GameCube was able to make like this really appealing, warm, swimmable water. And
yeah, the GameCube was made for that guy on Miiverse who like
too much water. Yeah, I mean 7 and 7
it
a
was
lot of
made
water
for that guy.
I played Wave Race in preparation for this video. I played a few GameCube games. I think it's kind of clunky, honestly. I didn't really like it. I thought it played clunky. I thought it was like, it wasn't super amazing. I almost feel like maybe the N64 one would be more impressive because it's like on the N64, and like so it has a reason to be clunky.
Wave Race is more like, it's like kind of like one of those games. It's like an arcade game kind of, and to me, it's like arcade games sort of have these like clunky controls because it's like you're on like an actual peripheral like boat, like something like that, and you're just moving your body around. So that's where I feel like Wave Race sort of gets like its clunky, nature, and that's why I kind of like the controls of Wave Race. But I can see what you're saying.
It also has like almost fighting game-esque inputs to do like certain things. And it's very strange. Like to turn tighter, you gotta like go down diagonal left and right, or like if you want to do a jump, you gotta like do. It's very weird.
I feel like Nintendo. It's like a class. It was even referenced in Pikmin 4. I think that was like the first reference in a while of Wave Race Blue Storm.
I forgot. Yeah, the water race drops that in Pikmin 4. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I feel like Nintendo would definitely include Wave Race 64. Or fuck, Wave Race Blue Storm. Jesus Christ.
That's like that. I will say Wave Race 64 is almost kind of like a synonymous name. Like when I think of Wave Race,
yeah,
I think of Wave Race 64.
Yeah. I think that's why I keep getting it messed up. I'm just always thinking of Wave Race 64. But we'll do Wave Race Blue Storm. I personally haven't played it, but
okay. Okay. So my next thing. This is another weird one, like the Star Fox one. Okay, so there are many Mario spin-offs on the GameCube, but honestly, I don't think they'd give us a Mario Party or even Double Dash. I think we have 4 sport games. We have tennis, golf, baseball, and strikers, and I think they'd only give us 2 of those 4. So, like, that's what would be the 2 of those 4 sport games? Do you think they would slap on there?
Well, here's the thing. Just speaking of, so are we for this GameCube Classic Edition? Are we saying this GameCube comes with 4 mini controllers? For everybody,
I would imagine so, because that was I would imagine so. I'd imagine they wouldn't make a.
Because that kind of skewed my list. 'Cause I was assuming it's only gonna come with 1 controller. But okay.
It might only come with 1 controller, but I definitely think it would have 4 slots. I think you'd be able to
I can
play
see that
multiplayer.
Yeah, you can maybe buy a little peripheral.
Yeah, or if you just have GameCube controllers already,
So I limited my list to have only 1 Mario Sport game, and I already chose mine. So what was yours?
I think they do golf and strikers. I think those would be I think they'd slap because that's a good variety of peaceful golf, and it's 2 dichotomies too, because you have peaceful golf and then you got strikers, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, to me, Strikers is almost not even really I know it's like a soccer game, but to me it's it's not even really soccer versus Mario Toadstool. That's just golf. That's like golf to me, and that's why I chose that one instead of Mario Baseball.
Yeah, I as much as I love tennis and baseball, well, I think the Super Sluggers on the Wii is way better than the I don't know why people say the baseball one on GameCube is better, because it's just not. It's not. It's I don't know what's wrong with these people.
What's wrong with them?
But in golf, it would obviously be Toadstool Tour. Toadstool, that's the only.
Yeah.
That is the golf game, but it's good. I actually really enjoy that one, and had
so we're good.
Mario saying, "You stinky."
I fucking love the taunts in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Holy shit! This is the last sort of sport game. Well, I guess maybe okay. I want to say it's the last sport game that sort of felt like a Mario sport game. To me, where the environments are Mario themed versus in later entries where it's
yeah,
I guess Mario Tennis Aces, where it's just or no, sorry, not Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, where there's it's just a tennis game, and with Mario characters are just copy and pasted.
I got that game, and I regret it every day of my life. It's so nothing. It's so nothing. It's so boring.
Yeah. So I feel like Mario Golf Toadstool Tour is just like I haven't played a lot of Mario Baseball. Does it like have those like Mario environments?
Oh yeah, I mean Super Sluggers and even Superstar Baseball on the GameCube, they both have, yeah, you have like Peach's Castle, you have Bowser's Castle. Superstar Baseball Wario's Arena is like an Arabian gold palace.
Well, I think Nintendo, if they were gonna choose one, I think Nintendo would include Mario Golf Toadstool Tour as like the definitive just Mario sport. They even oh fuck, Mario Tennis came out on the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was one of the four. It was Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Baseball, or Strikers. And but I think they do Golf and Strikers. I think that would be the two.
I just had like a thought occur because I just realized that Nintendo already re-released Mario Tennis for the Wii with the new play motion. So that gets me like thinking in my head, okay, well they would just re-release it again for a GameCube like classic.
I think Toadstool Tour is like the Mario sport game on the GameCube that is more beloved than Power Tennis, honestly. I think more people talk about Toadstool Tour than they talk about Power Tennis.
No, but Power Tennis had those like cutscenes, like the funny cutscenes.
So did Golf. Golf has the funny cutscene where they give Bowser a black eye. Wario and Waluigi give Bowser a black. You have never seen that one? Yeah, they're like playing golf and they shoot the golf ball and he gets a black eye and Bowser fucking blows them up with a bomb.
All right, so we'll do Mario Golf Toadstool Tour as our. Are we also doing Mario Strikers?
Yeah, I think we should put Mario. Yeah. All right, what do you got next?
Next, this is a tough one, because I have Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2.
I have both of them. Yeah, they both need to be on there for sure. There's no way they can't be on there together.
But do they? What do you mean they both need to? Because
Nintendo,
they'll cut out Mario Galaxy 2 out of a 3D collection, so you don't know that. You don't know if they'll both be on it.
But this is not like a collection of just the certain. This is, I don't know. I feel like Pikmin 1 and 2, you have to put them together. I feel like you don't get the full picture if you don't have both of them. If you just get Pikmin 1, I don't feel like that's a 100% good depiction of what Pikmin all is. Obviously, it's Pikmin 1, so it's still, I'm not saying it doesn't represent Pikmin well, but Pikmin 1 and 2, it represents both sides of the Pikmin coin that most fans fall on. It's either Pikmin music came up my playlist. Because Pikmin 1, you got the time thing that people love, they love that, and then Pikmin 2 took it in the direction of it's way harder, and it's now like a cave spelunking, while still obviously having all the Pikmin gameplay traits, and like that, and both those things became DNA of the series. Like when Pikmin 3 came out, that was more after 1, Pikmin 4 is more after 2, so it's like it's the two halves of what make Pikmin, and I don't think you could only have Pikmin 1.
I do agree with that, because now that I'm thinking more about it, Pikmin, how Pikmin 3 takes more from Pikmin 1, and then Pikmin 4 takes more from Pikmin 2. So I feel like, Nintendo isn't, like, obliged to say, oh, we're only bringing back Pikmin 1, because it's, it's the original, sort of like what they did in the Mario Galaxy, or Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So, I would be fair to say, I'm okay with taking 2 slots for both Pikmin 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, Pikmin 2 has fucking Bulbmin!
Yes, it does. We love Boldman here.
I love Boldman.
We should do a slot just for Boldman.
This is gonna be weird because I routinely say I don't think this game is as good as people say, but I still put it on here. Kirby Air Ride.
I'm so happy you put Kirby Air Ride because I love Kirby Air Ride. I don't know why you're a hater.
So for people who don't know, on Tommy's channel, here's the thing. I am a fucking mega Kirby head. I know all the lore. My brain is obsessed with these little freaks. But Air Ride, the game everyone says is peak and is so good, I think it's just like fine. I think it's mid. I don't know. I don't think it's that great. I think like almost any other racing game on the GameCube outclasses it. I just think it's fine. I don't know. The fact that you can only play as Kirby really is just like it bothers me.
But hear me out though. Okay, so we're envisioning this GameCube classic as like it comes with one controller, but you can buy additional controllers, right? If you were going to, you want that like concept. City Trial with Kirby Air Ride would be like the best way to sell that idea of I'm gonna go buy more controllers for my GameCube Classic.
Once again, I'm not saying like the Kirby Air Ride is bad. I just think it's fine. But like I feel like City Trial has been done better in other games. I feel like Smash Run on Smash 3DS is just like a better version of City Trial and shit like that.
Come on. You don't mean come on.
But I have it on my list. I still think it would be good to have on the GameCube. I'm an advocate. We're saying I think it's a bit overrated. I think Air Ride's a bit overrated.
Okay. Well, I see what you're saying. Where I mean, Smash Run, for what it is, it's pretty good. I personally, if I have time with some of my friends and we're able to play like City Trial or whatever, I have a blast every time we play City Trial. It's so much fun.
Yeah, to be fair, I never didn't have this game as a kid, so I never got to play City Trial with people. So maybe if I did, that would change my tune.
We'll put Kirby Air Raid. My turn. So I put Tales of Symphonia for a slot.
I also have that on here.
We have that on there. So from what I understand from this game, I know people really wanting Lloyd to be in Smash for like the longest time.
Yeah.
And I believe he's from Tales of Symphonia. And from what I understand, it's a really good RPG for the GameCube.
Are we sure Lloyd's not from Golden Sun?
Lloyd is no Lloyd's from.
Uh-oh. 1 second, let me look this up. Lloyd.
This is gonna fucking out us. Yeah, he's from Tales of Symphonia.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I'm getting Isaac and Lloyd confused. They look very, very similar. They're both anime boys.
I'm making sure to out you as you don't know what Tales of Symphonia is, but you put it on the list.
Yeah, because I've heard about it. I know it's like an RPG people really like. I usually only play the Mario RPGs because I'm a baby.
But Tales of Symphonia, that would be a fun one to put on the classic, and especially we don't have I guess really a lot of RPGs for the GameCube. Well, I mean, we got a few, but like like Mario or Nintendo RPGs.
Yeah,
I think it would be a good like third party slot.
Just kind of, I feel like that's something we just kind of both threw on because it's like, oh, it's a game we know we've never really played, but like, you throw it on there, fill up the slot.
Yeah.
What I got next here is, I guess technically it's another RPG. It's Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I feel like that's just, with how big Fire Emblem is now. Back in the day when that came out, nobody fucking played that. Nobody knew about Fire Emblem. But now it's like 15,000 characters in Smash Brothers. It's like people love that shit now. I think they would put that on there.
Yeah, I can see Fire Emblem, being on there. I especially want people to check out the older Fire Emblems because I actually did try and play a little bit of it. And I had actually a really good time. I kind of, after Awakening, the series took a little bit of a turn, and I kind of miss when Fire Emblem was more, I don't know, like tactics focused, especially from like the previous entries on the Game Boy Advance and whatever. So yeah, I'm happy with putting a Fire Emblem.
Yeah, as much of like a hater.
I know it hurts you to put that on your list.
Well, I was gonna say actually right now. I was gonna say as much as I am as a hater of them in Smash Brothers, sometimes when I see the games, I am kind of like, that looks fun. That looks like maybe I could get down on that maybe or something. But
you should try it. You should try it.
Maybe I will. All
right. Next, I had WarioWare Mega Micro Games. So I know this is an interesting one because we were earlier before this video we were talking about what Wario game we would put, and I'm sure the other one is on your list. But again, I'm thinking about this in the brain of Nintendo. Hey, if you have this like mini console with the ability to play with 4 people, the WarioWare Mega Micro Games like party mode is so much fun. Not enough people talk about that.
Was that not its own game? The multiplayer WarioWare thing, or what did you have to connect that to the Game Boy? GameCube. I thought that was its own game. Yeah, there's WarioWare Mega Party Game for the GameCube.
Oh, I think
yeah, WarioWare Mega Micro Games is the GBA game. Is like the first one on GBA. I think you got these two confused.
Okay, I'm thinking of Mega Party Games. The one that you,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I just mislabeled the name.
Still does use Game Boy connectivity, but it's a different game. But no, I mean I thought about putting this on here, but with the whole Game Boy connectivity, I wasn't sure. I just don't know how they would do it. I don't know how integral the Game Boy connectivity is to that one, to be honest. So maybe they could just work around it, but I don't know.
Because yeah, I think that would be interesting. Because I really want to see. I'm envisioning for this GameCube Classic. Like all the games are sort of enhanced in ways where if maybe if we had Four Swords Adventure on there, I don't know if you have it on your list. But if we had it on there, maybe there's a way we could make that work with just one screen, and for that. So I think WarioWare Mega Party Games would be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I've always seen gameplay of it, and it's like, that does look fun. I'm a bit of also a WarioWare hater, but like not like to the point where I wouldn't put it on this list or whatever.
You said you already said you've been a hater for 3 franchises.
Yeah, well, you're a hater for Sunshine, so I mean, I think you're more cemented.
True.
All right, what do I got next? I got Pokemon Coliseum is what I got next on my list. Those are I thought about maybe also put in XD Gale of Darkness because I hear that's the better one. But I feel like they'd probably just do one. I think they'd just do Pokemon Coliseum because then that plus Fire Emblem plus Tales of Symphonia. That's, you know, you got your good amount of RPGs there and then.
Is Pokemon Coliseum, isn't that just like Stadium where it's just battles?
No, Pokemon Gale of Darkness is the sequel to Pokemon Coliseum. Yeah, I don't know why the name conventions with these two are because yeah, they're just like you would almost think they're two different series, but it's the same game. It's the whole it's almost weird how people were clamoring for like a mainline 3D Pokemon, but like these were pretty close. The only difference is you didn't like catch Pokemon. You like would steal evil ones and turn them good again. And that was like the whole gimmick, and it was like much more story focused. And in like this weird, grungy, almost Mad Max world, at least for the first one. It was a very weird take on Pokemon, but I kind of enjoyed it for that.
Honestly, I kind of miss this sort of take on Pokemon. It feels like, I don't know, you know, a lot of people complain about the newer games, but I'm not trying to get into that. But it just feels like sort of like a different, the Coliseum games in particular feel sort of like a different interpretation of Pokemon that we don't really get anymore.
They almost feel like normal Pokemon almost feels like the campy Batman, and then Pokemon Coliseum and XD almost feel like the kind of more grounded, slightly gritty Batman in a way. That's what like the vibe is like.
And I think this again goes back to the you know, the GameCube just being like a time for like weird ideas, because I feel like, you know, the Pokemon Coliseum games wouldn't really exist like today, but I see them always like existing on GameCube.
I could see them bringing it back at some point. But I mean, I don't know now with like this, like the mainline I don't know, because like I feel like the whole draw with Coliseum and XD was like it's a Pokemon game on console. But now that we are getting Pokemon games on console, it's like what's the draw here besides like better story than fucking I want to be champion.
My turn. So I'm surprised though this wasn't your first pick. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Easy.
So here's the thing. I don't think they'd put it on there. I just
What?
don't. I don't have it on my list.
What?
I don't think they'd put it on there. I don't think they would. I don't know. Something in my heart of hearts tells me they just wouldn't.
It's getting a remake. Okay, if you said, hey, I think I would agree with you if you said this before the remake was announced for Switch. I honestly think I would.
I almost feel like the remake makes it more so, because if this is like a future thing, we're almost thinking like this would be something in the future. You have the remake on Switch. Assuming this would be when the Switch 2 is like maybe in like middle.
I'm assuming
or
this thing is like 30 years from now. The GameCube Classic. I'm assuming we're getting like 30 years from now, 30 or 20, and I feel like that would be a prime time to put Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, the original version on a GameCube Classic.
I feel like it's also one of those things. They know too well how much people love this, so they'd almost feel like they'd like if this is 30 years. I don't know. With the remake, I feel like they'd just push the remake again or something. I don't feel like they would. That they could make too much money off of that game, than by like selling it on its own rather than having it be part of a collection.
That is, I see what you're saying. I feel like, but like people would be even more angrier if like you released a GameCube Classic without Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, because I know people were upset with the when the SNES Classic launched without, you know, Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3. It was only the first one, and people were pretty upset about that. Same with without any like Chrono Trigger or whatever. So I feel like, you know, the Thousand-Year Door, it is a first-party game. So I feel like you have to have that on your GameCube Classic.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something in my heart of hearts. I mean, we could put it on there if you.
We'll put it on here, and then we can come back to it.
Yeah, in my heart of hearts, I just feel like I could like see. I can like vision. I'm in Nintendo's head. I could just see them not putting it on there.
Psyching yourself out. All right, what's your next pick?
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
I had that one too.
I feel like, you know, Nintendo's relationship it was very good. I feel like they could get that on there pretty well. I feel like that. I mean, it was a GameCube exclusive, wasn't it? The remake.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so and it literally has Mario and Yoshi in it. Mario and Yoshi are in that video game on like Otacon's desk. That fucking little white bottom bitch. But yeah, I mean, you know, it'll be a good stealth game. It's a good rated M. There was a point in this list, you know, when I was first telling you about this idea. I was like, should we put rated M games on this list? Because like the GameCube, like were you gonna get that for your kid and then has rated M games or whatever? But then I thought, I think there's too many. I think that if we were doing the N64, I probably would say that, but I feel like for the GameCube, that's a bit too restricted. Because there was actually quite a lot of like rated M games on the GameCube that were very well known and like very important to its legacy, I believe, as we'll see later.
Yeah. I did put it on my list, but I was also thinking about because none of the past classic editions have had any rated M games. I mean, I guess you could argue the NES. I mean, I don't even think that had the rating system.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
I mean, by the time the SNES came out, there was a rating system. And this did impact my decision for 2 games, but I feel like I would agree. I feel like for the GameCube, you're kind of missing out on some games for if you choose not to have any rated M games. But on the other hand, the Twin Snakes, it's not the greatest port of Metal Gear Solid 1. From what I've heard, it's it's pretty lacking in a few areas. And people usually prefer just the standard PS1 game. But I can see it. I can see them bringing back the Twin Snakes. Because again, there is that Nintendo exclusive content that hasn't been re-released since.
Yeah, the fact that it's an exclusive, especially, is this like it's a Metal Gear Solid game for the GameCube. Like that's people are gonna want that. You're gonna want that on your like for your variety, spice of life.
This is gonna be a little bit of a crazy one for me, because I have Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Four Swords Adventure, and I feel like Nintendo would only choose one.
It's Wind Waker. They're gonna choose one. That's gonna be the one because
I know
because Twilight Princess was on the Wii, as well.
And I think about like the amount of effort. Here's my thinking. So I feel like it's gonna be the Wind Waker. Wind Waker to me is like it's the first GameCube, like new GameCube Wind Waker or new GameCube Zelda game. Twilight Princess almost feels like like the redheaded stepchild of the GameCube, because it is a GameCube game technically, but it also came out on the Wii, and like to me, I go back and forth on whether Twilight Princess is a Wii game or it's a Zelda or it's a GameCube game, because I know Twilight Princess they mirrored it on Wii, so it's almost kind of like its new experience versus it came out on the GameCube, but it was also on the Wii, so I don't know.
I also almost feel like we talk with a lot of these GameCube games, the weirdness factor, the weird GameCube vibe is a big part of a lot of these games. I feel like Twilight Princess, while it has a weird vibe, it's not a weird GameCube vibe. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that essence of a GameCube. Wind Waker, definitely has more of that essence of a GameCube game than like Twilight Princess does. Something about I don't know. It's just a different weird vibe.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying, because yeah, Twilight Princess to me, it almost feels like a launch Wii game vibe, if that sort of makes sense. Because like I think about in Smash Brawl with its realism, that feels like a Wii game, Smash Brawl, because of its realism. And I feel like Twilight Princess sort of has that same flavor of it's realistic, so it's gonna be on the Wii. So I'm okay with putting Wind Waker, but then I'm also thinking, okay, for Four Swords Adventures, are they gonna put in that much effort to redo that so you can play it without the Game Boy Advance?
My wish would be they would be able to do that, because I would love to play that game. Like every time I see the game, it just looks so fun. But I think it'd be too much work. I don't think they do it.
All right, so I'll put the Wind Waker for now, and then I think we're thinking about Four Swords Adventure, so I'm also gonna put it on the list, but I'm gonna highlight it in case we want to come back to it.
Yep. What I got next, this is a very weird game, because I've seen it played, and it looks fun. It almost kind of reminds me of like some indie games you see nowadays, is Odama.
Ooh,
you know about this game?
I actually don't.
The one problem with this game is that it does use the microphone, but you could easily, with the controller that comes in with this game, you could just put built-in microphone into this version of the GameCube controller, I feel like.
So it was made by the guy who made Seaman? Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of, what I'm seeing, it's almost kind of it's like an RTS, and you command them to a bunch of little army dudes to push things and do things for you. It's almost like Pikmin mixed with Mario Party GameCube mini games with the microphone.
I need to look into more into this one, but yeah, I'm down to put it on the list. I feel like
it's a good weird one. It's like one of those out of left fields. What is this?
What was it called again?
Odama.
Odama. Okay.
Hey, this is Naomi here. I just want to add an editor's note into the video, since I'm the one editing it. So I wanted to clear up exactly what the fuck Odama is, because Adam is completely fucking wrong about what this game is. So Odama is a really shitty strategic pinball fucking game So the microphone is used to command the troops and for them to do like certain actions while you're trying to play fucking pinball. And it's a game that is very unique, yes, but I feel as though people look at it, it's like, oh, it's so unique, therefore it must be good. No, the game kind of fucking sucks, and it kind of baffles me that it's even on this list because of how rough it is and how not fun it is. So I think it was literally just chosen because it's unique, it's different, and that's it. Meanwhile, Adam literally has no idea what the fuck it's even about, so, which, doesn't surprise me, so, yeah.
I had Metroid Prime.
I also have Metroid Prime. Hot take, I think they'd only do one. I think they'd only do Metroid Prime.
I was gonna agree, because I also put Metroid Prime 2 on the list, but I feel like, again, same with the SNES Classic, they're only putting, like, the main, like, franchise. Which is why I was still hankering on Pikmin 2 being there. But I feel like they would only include Metroid Prime 1. Again, I love Metroid Prime 1. I love the aesthetic of Metroid Prime 1. Recently played it through the Switch port, or sorry, the Switch remake that came out, and I just absolutely loved it.
I think the reason why you put Pikmin 2 but not Metroid Prime 2 is I feel like Metroid Prime 2 is kind of, especially in like the trilogy of the Metroid Prime games, Metroid Prime 2 was always kind of its own standalone thing almost. While with Pikmin 2, it's definitely more like, I mean, even when they ported them to Switch, it was like 1 and 2 at the same time. You can't just like do one or the other. But I also feel like with Metroid Prime, that's you also gotta have that on as like that's your FPS game. That's like your main FPS game that you have on for the GameCube.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, it's Metroid representation. Well, here's also the thing. If you have both Metroid Prime 1 and 2, that's pretty good Metroid representation. So I kind of do want to put Metroid Prime 2 on the list.
But it's also like I feel like it's almost too good of a deal. Because here's the other thing. You got to think like you're in what Nintendo would be doing for this is the same thing we are, where they're like having to choose what games would be on there and what would not. At the end of the day, would they really want to, I don't want to say waste, because it's not like Metroid Prime 2 is a bad game, but in any sense of the word, but like would they really want to put that when they could get some other more interesting spice of life stuff? And it's not like, there's other shooter games even that are like should be on,
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with just putting Metroid Prime 1 on the list.
What do I have next? I had Cubivore.
Cubivore. I thought about putting Cubivore on the list.
I feel like that's another, like, because not all of these got to be like the big seller, big banger. Some of these could be like more niche stuff that, maybe not a lot of people have heard of. Like, and I think this would be good. It's a very interesting game. It reminds me of Spore in some ways. Which is like how you eat things and you evolve into like get more. It's a very unique game. It has it is another like prime example of GameCube oddness and weirdness that I think deserves a slot.
Yeah, I would totally love to put Cubivore on the list for sure. It would I know it was developed by Intelligent Systems too, so it's not like a huge deal to get that on the GameCube Classic. And honestly, we just don't really, I don't think it's ever been re-released, Cubivore.
I mean, you get Spirits of it in Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Certainly loves it. They had trophies back in Smash 4, and then they had Spirits. So, like, Nintendo definitely has some sort of fondness for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be so sick to see Cubivore back. I like the gameplay, too. Yeah, it does remind me of Spore, now that I'm looking at it. Next, I had Mario Kart Double Dash. Come on. Come on now.
I'm also a Double Dash this is almost the same thing with Thousand Year Door. Well, I'm a great enjoyer of Double Dash, but I just don't know if they put it on.
No,
I just don't know if they would.
Gotta have Mario Kart.
There's so many other good racing games. So one of them I didn't even put, but there's other, like, we got, because I have another racing game on here besides Kirby Air Ride. Because if you have Kirby Air Ride and this other racing game I have on here, I feel like you have, I don't know, I don't know.
I think, well, hear me out. I think at this point, if a GameCube Classic came out and it had Kirby Air Ride, but it didn't have Mario Kart Double Dash, I feel like it doesn't sound right. Like, oh, where's Mario? I feel like, Nintendo fans wouldn't even want to buy it. Like, oh, you guys don't have the Thousand Year Door or Double Dash? Like, what, what's the point of getting this if I can't have, like these like classic GameCube games?
You know what? Maybe you're right. I kind of did put it on there because like it was another one of those like things where like in my head, like I'm trying to get in Nintendo's head, and I feel like they wouldn't put it on there. But Mario Kart Wii has so much love and and stuff like that. And it almost feels like Double Dash does kind of need some sort of a re-release just to put it back in to the public consciousness. They're like, hey, this is maybe even really good in my opinion. I think I like it more than Wii because unique mechanics, its specials. So yeah, throw it on there. Throw it on there.
All right. Yeah, I feel like without at least a Mario Kart, because I can see skipping the Thousand Year Door, either for to promote the remake or something like that. But I feel like you need a Mario Kart game. That's whether we like it or not, that's Nintendo's most like recognizable thing is Mario Kart.
Was Super Mario Kart on the SNES Classic?
Oh yeah, it was.
All right. I guess it makes sense, and they would definitely put 64. Like if we were talking about the N64 Classic right now, I think they would put Mario Kart 64 in that. I was just like, Double Dash. I just had this like, I felt like they wouldn't, but yeah, throw it on there. I like Double Dash. I would want it. So put it on there. Who cares? Next, I have a pun here. Is a game I definitely heard about. When I looked it up, it definitely looked interesting. Custom Robo.
Custom Robo. Did we actually talk about Chibi Robo at all?
We have not talked about it. I will say it is on my list. It is on my list, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Yeah, Custom Robo, it looks fun. It looks, you build a robot, you fight. You build a robot, you fight. It looks neat. It reminds me of something... What does it remind me of? Fuck, what does it remind me of? It definitely reminds
me... Kind of like a Gundam sort of like vibe from it.
Yeah. I feel like there's another game I played where it was like you built a robot and then you fought with it, and it's escaping my mind right now. Like it was like a handheld game or something. Oh, whatever. But it looks fun. I don't have much to say other than that. I've heard people talk about it, and it looks like it'd be a fun, something to put on there.
Yeah, I could see Custom Robo being on there for sure. Something interesting about Custom Robo is, again, I don't think it has been re-released. I know it's like when I think of the GameCube, I think of Custom Robo. Oh, I had like this franchise had a release on the DS as well. Interesting. Yeah. So it just sort of reminds me of this like era of Nintendo, like where Custom Robo would be on here. I can see that.
Nintendo are willing to take a lot of chances of just entirely new things on the GameCube. That's why I think it's this maybe would be best to save at the end, but GameCube is just my favorite, man. It is my favorite.
I got F-Zero GX.
I also have F-Zero GX. This was the two racing games I had on here was Kirby Air Ride and F-Zero GX because I played that recently for this, and while I wasn't great at it, I definitely enjoy it. I definitely think it deserves a spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think F-Zero GX for sure needs the spot, especially how we haven't really gotten like a new F-Zero game beyond this one specifically. And I feel like, F-Zero GX is just a great game in general that doesn't get enough love because, we don't really get more F-Zero lately.
Yeah, and it also, like, when I was playing it, this was crazy. I mean, said this in the Discord roll-in. It has an option for widescreen. You could just play it in widescreen, like normally, like not a hack, not anything. It just has it in the options, and I think that's great. That definitely helps for it to like, in this modern era. I think it would definitely help people be like less like, oh, this is an old game. If I could have a little complaint about it though, this might be sacrilegious to say. I think I almost like F-Zero 99 more.
Really?
Because in F-Zero GX, yeah, you're like twisting and turning, you're going in loops. It's kind of hard to see or like really have that. I don't know, it's hard to like have that. Maybe my brain and eyeballs are just not fast enough. My 23-year-old brain and eyes are slowly deteriorating, but it's just a little hard to like control, like to get your bearings. Meanwhile, in something like F-Zero 99, everything's flat and like the speed is still there. It's just that you could see what's coming from like a mile away, and it helps you be able to, when your game is that fast, I feel like I need to see what's happening in order to make a good last minute like correction course.
I feel that's interesting. I get what you're saying. I feel almost the complete opposite because in F-Zero GX, I feel like I'm going like fast. If you ever see those like fast racing Neo games that are like on the Wii, like it's sort of those games and F-Zero GX, which it takes a lot from. It just feels like you're going fast. Versus F-Zero 99, it feels like I'm playing an SNES game. Not to say that game isn't fun. I really like F-Zero 99, but I just feel like this is what the spirit of F-Zero is to me. It's just going insanely fast at these insane speeds in racing.
Maybe it is. I also just kind of like the vibe of F-Zero 99 a bit more. That more like classic sci-fi feeling, like that 80s, 90s sci-fi feeling. But not to say F-Zero GX doesn't have its own really fun personality. I mean, just like the amount of characters that are in that game is fucking crazy. Everyone only knows about Captain Falcon, but there's like Black Bull, there's like the fat mob guy, there's Pico, there's the sexy octopus man who does the funny dance. And like, each of them have their own like whole profiles. You could read their history and shit, and like you could change their colors, and you can customize your cars. It's great. I mean, I think it's a premier racing game on the GameCube.
Yeah, I'm happy with putting a F-Zero GX there. All right, what you
Chibi Robo, baby.
Chibi Robo.
This is a game that, while I have not played, I desperately do want to. I just want to save it for stream one day because it does look it just looks lovely.
Yeah, I love Chibi Robo. Speaking of you haven't played it, I recently just played it, and when you do play it, Adam, I'm gonna be there for that stream. That Chibi Robo is just a fun experience. I saved this game for like a rainy day, where I was like, man, I want to like play like a new game that I've always wanted to play. And Chibi Robo is just amazing game. I love the little family. I love the design of Chibi Robo. He's so cute. And I love like the little aesthetic. I also like games, which is especially why I love Pikmin, where you're just tiny. You're just like walking around these huge environments, or I guess like normal environments, but to you are huge because you're this little tiny character.
You mind? I do want to obviously continue about talking Chibi, and we'll get back to it. But I kind of want to go back around to talk to Pikmin for a second. Because I was thinking, I don't think I just got across how important and how much I fucking love Pikmin. It is just because I was thinking about this because like both Pikmin and Chibi Robo, I feel like Luigi's Mansion was the launch game and everything, but Pikmin and Chibi Robo are just like the essence of the GameCube distilled. Pikmin it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. There's nothing quite like it. I don't think there's any game that has come close to even giving you the same essence of what Pikmin is. Even in Pikmin 4, where it's like definitely it's been a bit more streamlined, it's still a little bit there, and it's you really feel like you're traversing this weird, sometimes almost horrifying alien world with these. It's just immaculate. It's so immersive. Even by GameCube standards, I feel like everything looks so nice. The nature sounds, the soundtrack, everything, the sound design, everything. It's just so wonderful. I remember I begged my mom to get Pikmin 2 for the GameCube, and it was like $70, and I was like, please, I want this. Please, I'll never ask for anything ever again. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's horrifying. It's stressful, but at the same time, it's beautiful, and it's a beautiful thing of nature. Miyamoto really hit it out of the park with that vibe, which he was going for.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you brought it back to Pikmin 1, because I know I originally didn't really want to put on Pikmin 2, because I feel like Nintendo wouldn't put Pikmin 2, but now I'm thinking about, yeah, Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 are like a package, almost. Like, you need both those games. That is, like, GameCube, is both Pikmin and Chibi Robo in that way. It has this weird, just like these weird tiny characters going on this, like, crazy adventure, and I just feel like that's the perfect way to put what the GameCube is. It's just like this Chibi Robo, like Pikmin sort of like idea where you're just like these weird like sort of things just happening.
Innovation. That is what the GameCube was. It was innovation. It wasn't scared to try things out of the box and do new things.
And that's why, yeah, I love Chibi Robo. I can't wait to see when you get around to playing that, because you're gonna fall in love with it.
Yeah, I'm expecting to fall in love with it, because every time I see the game, it just looks like it almost kind of gives me the same vibes whenever I see Captain Rainbow. It's just like this similar, like, weird, we'll do whatever we want. We have these stupid little characters, and we're in our little world, and it's funny, and it's, and I think I especially want to play it just because of the downfall of Chibi Robo as well. That I almost like...
That's almost heartbreaking if I think about it too much, how this game, this Chibi Robo was almost like the perfect template for future sequels, and we just never really got that, and it's so upsetting.
I feel like as a Paper Mario fan, I can really relate, and I almost feel like it's almost my duty to almost kind of play it and be like, feel the similar struggle. I can relate. At least we got that DS one that was a Walmart exclusive.
It sucked.
You didn't like it?
No, I said it sucked that it was Walmart exclusive.
And let's not even give Ziplash the time of day. Let's not even fucking.
Yeah, I think. But hey, it did give us the Chibi Robo amiibo, which I desperately want. It's so cheap on eBay. I think I just want to get one.
And then, like, a year ago, they posted that Chibi Robo on Fire image, and it was like, oh, Chibi Robo and Smash Brothers, but they were just promoting Dark Souls on Switch. What the fuck? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Toy with our heartstrings.
So funny. No, yeah, we could talk about Chibi Robo forever, but I can't wait until you play that, and I'm definitely glad that it's getting on the GameCube Classic list. So this is where it's gonna get interesting, because we're almost close to 30 now, and yet we still have, I think, almost half our list left. So I had a Super Monkey Ball.
Here's, much like Pikmin, I have Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. Because Monkey Ball 1 was just made for arcades, and then they kind of ported it to GameCube. But Super Monkey Ball 2 was made for the GameCube. So I almost kind of feel like you need a little bit of both those. I guess you could just do Super Monkey Ball 2. and that would be fine as well. I'd be fine with like cutting either Monkey Ball 1 or 2, honestly, but I just thought like Pikmin 1 and 2, they're a pretty good package deal.
Yeah, I feel like for Super Monkey Ball in particular, I feel like again it's gonna be Nintendo. Oh, we're gonna only have the first game for Super Monkey Ball, because even though Super Monkey Ball 2 is probably the better game, I don't really know the difference between Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, but from the way I'm understanding, it looks like 2 is the better game. I feel like Super Monkey Ball 1 is more likely to be on it than Super Monkey Ball 2, but we definitely need Super Monkey. I love Super Monkey Ball, and playing it with the GameCube controller specifically, it's so much fun. I feel like that game was really made for the GameCube.
I've never played a Super Monkey Ball game, but every time I see, like, I'll just, like, if someone's streaming, I'll be like, hell yeah, Super Monkey Ball, and I'll just watch it, and it's like, I feel like, it feels like, almost like how I got addicted to Pizza Tower, P-ranking in that game, I feel like I get addicted to Super Monkey Ball, and trying to just, like, get perfect, like, goal, like, trickery,
Yeah.
fucked up tips and tricks.
No, yeah, I love watching speedruns of Super Monkey Ball. They're just insane. It's like over in an instant. It's just like the screen just rotates and shakes, and they're done.
Did Super Monkey Ball 1 have all the cool mini games, or was that 2?
I think. Let me double check that.
Because if that's only 2, I feel like maybe we should have Super Monkey Ball 2 there. Either replace just as the only Super Monkey Ball, or with the package deal, because those mini games are great.
I think mini games are. No, it looks like Super Monkey Ball 1 has the mini games.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just putting Super Monkey Ball 1 and not Super Monkey Ball 2.
Another tangent on Super Monkey Ball. When Banana Mania came out, I did get it. I played Banana Mania. I just didn't feel like it had like the soul of Super Monkey Ball.
Banana Mania is a remake of the worst Super Monkey Ball on Wii.
No, that's you're thinking of Super Monkey Ball. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is like a remake of like the first 2, but it has like multiple levels from 1 and 2.
I thought Super Monkey Ball, which was because they did remake the worst one on Wii for Super Monkey Ball.
You're thinking of Super Monkey Ball like I don't remember what the remake was named.
There's Banana Mania, and then there's Banana Blitz.
Oh fuck! I'm thinking of Banana Blitz. My bad.
Yeah, Banana Blitz. I think Banana Blitz is the Wii one.
Yeah. Oh my god, this fucking naming conventions, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, this is the Wii. Yeah, so this is the bad one. This is the bad one. They did release the other Monkey Ball games on Switch as their own thing, as like the 1 and 2 collective, and that is the better version.
Yeah. Whatever the name was for the collection, I did not like as much as playing the original. I just felt kind of soulless.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
I have Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes, interesting.
I feel like you need some sort of Sonic on the GameCube, because I feel like the Sonic had pretty good presence on the GameCube.
I did have one Sonic game too, but it was not this one.
I thought about Adventure 1 or 2, because they're on the GameCube, but like they were originally on, like, I don't know, I feel like those were like later ports. I feel like Sonic Heroes came out, sure, while it was a multi-plat release, I feel like Sonic, was it?
Sonic Heroes? Yeah, it was.
It was a multi-plat?
Yeah.
Well, either way, I still like, when I think about Sonic Heroes, I think the GameCube. I feel like a lot of people are similar, and like I don't think it'd be absurd. Super Nintendo SNES Classic doesn't have like a crazy amount of third parties just because that wasn't much of like a thing. Like the idea of like it was kind of like you release your games on these 2 consoles because that's what was existed. But yeah, Sonic Heroes, throw that on there. I think I like that. It has the brought back the chaotic. Sorry about that, my stumble. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's nice.
Hey, this is Naomi back with another editor's note, and I wanted to give one of my favorite games of all time what it deserves. Right, because when Adam was talking about it, he was just like, oh yeah, it's fine, I guess. Even though I know his ass hasn't played this game, I know he's full of shit. And I just wanted to talk about Sonic Heroes because it's one of my favorite games of all time, and fuck you. So, Sonic Heroes is a better game than Sonic Adventure 2 in my humble onion. And if you guys don't know, I am a hardcore Sonic fanatic. It's my favorite franchise ever. The world's immaculate. The vibes are there in Heroes. Characters are good. The character interactions, the voice acting. I love the aesthetic your Heroes has as well. Is the fucking music, don't even get me started on that shit. The levels are super fun, and the game is just fucking goated. Like, honestly. Like, I know it's kind of fucking janky. It is janky. But, like, I don't fucking care. The game is fucking goated. I just wanted to put in this editor's note because I don't want to see my goat disrespected like this, So, yeah. It's a shame that Rayman 3 is not on this list because it fucking deserves it. Anyway, Sonic Heroes is goated, Sonic is cool, And yeah, okay, bye bye.
Yeah, I love that we agree that the game, this classic edition needs at least one Sonic game, because I feel like I almost wanted to cheat and put the Sonic the Sonic
Mega Collection?
Yeah, Mega Collection on there, but I feel like that'd be cheating, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I thought about like a few collections too, but I was like, no, that's like cheating. That's like mega cheating.
Yeah, but my Sonic game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. To me, I haven't played the Sonic Adventure games, but that sort of feels like a GameCube game to me. Is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
As anybody who watches me know, I gave up on Sonic Adventure 2 Battle because on like the last Shadow stage, I was like, I'm not having fun anymore, and I never finished it.
To me, I feel like I would agree with Sonic Heroes, because I feel like putting Sonic Adventure 2 but not 1 would be weird. I think they would put Heroes as like that's your GameCube Sonic game. We have Resident Evil 1, part of the Capcom 5.
Oh.
So I was a little troubled with this, because I definitely knew I wanted a Resident Evil game on this. And at first I was like thinking, oh yeah, Resident Evil 4, because that's like the most raw deal in history, where that was like a GameCube exclusive for like a little bit, yeah. And then the GameCube was not doing well, so they just ported it everywhere else, which is great for Resident Evil 4, because everybody needs to play Resident Evil 4. It's a banger game. But Resident Evil 1, the remake, is amazing. I played a little bit of it recently. The graphics, they still hold up. Like you can see like little dust particles when you're playing Resident Evil 1 on GameCube, and like the lighting too, and even the cutscenes. Like to me, this feels almost like a maybe even early PS3 game, late PS2 game, but it's on the GameCube, and it looks amazing.
I almost feel like Resident Evil 1 remake looks better than RE4.
Yeah, I honestly, I see what you're saying. I kind of want to agree with that. Yeah, because RE4, like I like the little bit of like the texture work on like faraway objects. Just doesn't really look good. But Resident Evil 1's textures look amazing.
That being said, though, I did put RE4 on this list as like the RE game on this, because I just feel like RE4 is a bit more. Even if it was only exclusive for a year, I feel like that it's a good part of like the GameCube's legacy and history, like that was on there. Like I remember watching my brother play RE4 when I was like 5 on the GameCube, and I was like, so in my mind, it's like, yeah, that's a GameCube game.
Yeah. I feel like if Nintendo was gonna choose one, I feel like it's gonna be Resident Evil 1. That's just like it's the first Resident Evil game's remake of the original.
Yeah.
Versus RE4.
I see what you mean. Either way, I'd be fine with either one of them, because like as long as we get the RE game on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, what you got?
What do I got next? I have Battalion Wars.
Battalion Wars.
This is basically 3D Advance Wars.
Oh.
It's a very. I was just looking at it, and I will say, something about it like irks me the way it looks. But I mean, people love Advance Wars. I've heard about this game. People talk about this game on the GameCube, and it would be another interesting kind of strategy game. Get on there. 3D action strategy.
All right.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know too much about it. I just kind of know people talk about it. And then when I figured out it was like an Advance Wars game, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll put it on the list. All right. Next I had... Oh, I'm excited about this one. Eternal Darkness.
I forgot to put this one on there.
Yeah, this is like, to me, was like, this has to be on the GameCube Classic to me, because it's like it's one of the very few Nintendo published rated M games. And every time I hear about it, I love hearing about the sandy effects and all that fun stuff. And I think that would be really cool to have it on the GameCube Classic. I can understand not wanting to put it, because we already have Resident Evil 1, and we had the other. What was the other M-rated game we were talking about? Was it
no, it was Metal Gear.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear. Yeah, Metal Gear. Yeah. So I can understand not wanting to put on it, but to me, it's like this is sort of like, again, the GameCube wanting to try new things. So hey, let's make this Eternal Darkness game. It's rated M, and it's it's a cool thing. I don't actually know about the quality of the game itself, but I feel like for these SNES classics and for the NES classics, not all the games are going to be great, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a sampling of what the console had to offer.
I will say it would I feel like putting it on that GameCube Classic would also, because you could emulate it, right? But like then the sanity effects aren't as good, because the sanity effects mess with the fact that it's on a TV.
Yeah.
Even if like some of the maybe effects would be outdated, because like we have like newer, better TVs or whatever, it would still work better than being on like an emulator, because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
immersion there is broken a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a similar thing where I've never played it, but I've just heard it's so good. And even if like if I ended up playing it, I didn't like it, I'd still rather have it on there. I'd still because it's so beloved.
Yeah. All right. And now we have 30 games on the list, so we're gonna start making some cuts here. So,
Oh, I still got I still got some good ones on here though.
yeah, I know, same. So this will be interesting.
So what I got next here, this is an interesting one, mainly because of a character that's in it. Soul Calibur 2.
I also put Soul Calibur 2.
Yes, because I think this one, if it is technically a third-party game, but the fact that it has Link in it, I feel like they could pretty easily be like, hey, can we put this on the GameCube? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a pretty easy slap in. I think it's also Namco, I think. So it wouldn't. So Namco's pretty chill.
It's Namco,
Yeah. I have one more Namco game on here also that I would really want on this, but if we can't get it on, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, I really wanted this game. It would also give us some variety. We actually don't have a fighting game yet, which is gonna be interesting when we get to make.
Yeah, I'm very interested that neither of us have said the game.
The game, yeah, but
the game. I'm just gonna say straight, I don't have Melee on my list.
I had Melee on my list, but we'll get to it because I feel like it does deserve a slot, and I'm excited to see which one's gonna get cut. But yeah, so I think Soul Calibur 2, I had that exclusive Link as a character, and I want some variety in our GameCube Classic, and I think you need to put a fighting game on there, like an actual just more traditional fighting game.
Should I just kind of fire off what I had left on here?
No, I was thinking we could just go back and forth, but again, now we're cutting things from this list to keep 30.
All right. Damn, I had a few good. The last 3 games. I just want to quickly say the last 3 games I had on here that we hadn't talked about. There's only 3 we hadn't talked about. 4 actually was Pac-Man World 2, Harvest Moon Wonderful Life, Beautiful Joe, and Wario World.
Yeah, we can still talk about those. Just go back and forth. I'm just saying we're just gonna cut a few.
We could probably get rid of we could probably maybe replace Twin Snakes with something else if we really wanted to, honestly. But I mean, it depends.
That's a hard one. So which one are what game are we talking about again?
I have Pac-Man World 2, Harvest Moon, Beautiful Joe, and Wario World. Or the last 4 on my list that we didn't talk about.
And then we're talking about Soul Calibur 2. I feel like, yeah, I would agree. I think we can cut Twin Snakes for Soul Calibur 2. I feel like the Nintendo exclusive content in that one is more interesting in Soul Calibur 2 than Twin Snakes.
I also feel like we got to put Harvest Moon on there. Neither of us talked about Animal Crossing, so I feel like we got to put Harvest Moon on there for your life sim game. But I don't know what to. I think replace Four Sword Adventures. I think with Harvest Moon.
Okay.
If you agree with that, I mean.
Yeah, we'll keep going as we were, but when we get to Harvest Moon, we can decide which one we want to cut. Next game that we haven't talked about was Smash Melee. I'm just gonna bring up Smash Melee. I think this has to be on the GameCube Classic. This is one of your very front of the box games that you're gonna want to put on the console box.
I just think the only Smash Bros. Game that would make it on any of these classic editions, in 100 years in the future, would be Smash 64. I just don't think they'd want to put any others, because Smash 64 is so simple, and it's almost it's a not as big of a game. Melee onwards, I feel like they're just so big, and it's man, I don't know.
I feel like you can't have a GameCube class. When you think of the GameCube, you're gonna think of the classic. Oh, Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Melee. I think these are some of the. I think isn't Smash Melee the highest selling GameCube game, or is it Double Dash? It's up there, for sure.
I just feel like there's more important games. I think there's more important games we could put instead of Sunshine. I mean Melee. Sorry. You said it. The Sunshine stays. Sunshine stays.
Slip. He said it. No, I just have to disagree. I feel like if you're gonna have and this is 30 years in advance, far beyond when the GameCube came out, and also more technologically advanced, we can put a GameCube game on these very tiny systems, and I feel like we gotta make the cut, and I'm okay with making the cut for WarioWare Mega Party games. I feel like a Smash Melee is gonna be that game for it.
Okay, I don't want to be mean to WarioWare, but I'm not as much of a WarioWare enjoyer as the Lion, but I guess we could put Melee instead of like Mega Party games. I feel like that would, yeah. If we're gonna have to put Melee in there, we're gonna have to definitely cut another part, a different part.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make that cut then.
Next thing I had was Pac-Man World 2, which is I just like that game. I just think it's a fun 3D platform. Yeah, because I feel like the only other 3D platform we have on here is Mario Sunshine.
We also had Billy Hatcher.
Yeah, I guess, but still, that's like, I feel like 3 is like a nice round out. You know what I mean?
So it's going to be interesting which one we want to cut here. Do we want to make a cut for Pac-Man World 2? Or are we okay with it still here?
What do we have 30 right now?
We have
right?
30 right now, yeah. So we're just taking one out. We took out micro games for Smash Melee.
If it came down to it, I would replace Billy Hatcher with Pac-Man World 2 if we had to, if that's what we want to do.
I'm gonna highlight the games that we were still thinking about, because we also had, you know, Custom Robo, Odama.
You know what? Replace Custom Robo with Pac-Man World 2, I think.
Feel like I'm okay with that. I feel like Pac-Man World 2 is sort of like, you know, it's another classic GameCube game. And I'm not trying to say like it would be my dream to have like, you know, more of these type of games, but I feel like, you know, Nintendo would make that cut for, instead of having a Custom Robo, they're gonna want to do Pac-Man World 2. All right, next I had Crazy Taxi. I think that'd be a fun one.
What would you want to
But
replace?
I don't think we already have a Sonic game, and that's, you know, that's Sega. Already have Sonic Heroes. I don't think.
And we have 3 racing games, right?
3 racing games, yeah. So I don't think we're gonna make a cut for Crazy Taxi, even though that would be cool. It is also more of like a Dreamcast game to me.
Yeah, and it also like is in arcades. It's kind of like it's like it's not. I don't feel like that has that much GameCube DNA.
I agree.
I feel like, you know, I said it, but I feel like Harvest Moon definitely needs to be on here. So I feel like Beautiful Joe and Wario World, they could like whatever we don't have to put those on, but like I feel like Harvest Moon needs to be on there. I feel like we need that life sim slot.
But here's the thing, I feel like it would be Animal Crossing and not Harvest Moon.
Yeah, but Animal Crossing, I guess it doesn't need Wi-Fi, but like...
No, it was a GameCube game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, I guess you'd need to like switch out your memory cards. Is this GameCube gonna have like a memory card?
I'm assuming this GameCube Classic, you know, is just able to, you know, do all the things that, you know, it needs to do to specifically play like a game like Animal Crossing. You know, it'll have like an internal clock and whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's not that I had nothing against Animal Crossing. I was just thinking, like, I don't know because another thing about Animal Crossing is like, it's kind of like a Smash Brothers situation with me, where like, why would I want to go back to the older?
I know a lot of people, everyone I talk to is a huge fan of Animal Crossing. They miss the older days of Animal Crossing, where the villagers were meaner and you had like less control over the village. You know, you don't have the rolling pin style world. You kind of have this like sort of flat sort of POV. So I feel like Animal Crossing, the original, should have a slot, and I don't know which one I would want to cut, because we're honestly, this might be an interesting one.
I guess I just think also Harvest Moon doesn't get a lot of love, especially with like, do you know the whole situation with?
Yeah, I know, yeah, it's not. This should be Story of Seasons.
Yeah, but I mean, we could put Animal Crossing can replace something. We could make it Animal Crossing and have Animal Crossing replace something else on here.
It's interesting here. What do we got? So I should read the list. We got Mario Sunshine right now, Star Fox Adventure, Luigi's Mansion. We took off. We kept Billy Hatcher. Are we still feeling about Billy Hatcher? I think we have multiple. I think we have almost too many. 3D platform. We have Mario Sunshine, Billy Hatcher, Sonic Heroes.
Oh, I forgot Sonic Heroes is technically on here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could replace Battalion Wars instead, though.
You know, I feel like it has that. You know, it has that variety. For if we keep Battalion Wars.
You're right.
I think
we can replace Billy Hatcher.
I think and then Sonic Heroes, you know, it's also Sonic Team for Billy Hatcher, so I feel like you still have that, you know, Sonic flavor. All right, I'll put Animal Crossing.
And then my last two were Wario World and Beautiful Joe. We can like I wasn't super hot in Beautiful Joe when I played it the other day. Wario World I have more strong feelings towards, but like we're getting to a point where I don't know what else I would really want to cut for Wario.
Yeah, same. And same with Beautiful Joe. Like, as much I really like the Beautiful Joe and its aesthetic, we already have like a Capcom. We have Resident Evil 1, and I think that's, you know, that's kind of really what you need for a Capcom game. I would like Beautiful Joe, but then we also sort of, it's like you know, it's a platformer, so I feel like I'm okay with what we got right here for platformers.
What would we have for the secret game?
Ooh, yeah, we're doing the secret game. I forgot.
I did put a secret game on here, and it would be Thousand Year Door.
Wait, what?
It would only be a secret game.
No.
If they put it on there, it would only be a secret game and not.
Okay, I feel like we need a rule for the secret game because I feel like something like because I feel like, you know, if you're thinking about the marketing on the box, it's not gonna say get the secret game, Paper Mario, the 1,000-year door. You know, because I feel like these secret games, it's like something you unlock, versus like, you know, being like a secret game that you just, you know, it's just a normal. Oh, this is just, you know, the 1,000-year door. Because, you know, Star Fox 2 was never released in ever, so that was like the secret game, and you unlocked it by doing the first level of Star Fox.
That's a particular thing with Star Fox 2, because it was like, it really truly was like a secret game.
Yeah, that's what to me makes it the secret game, and that's why I made my secret game Doshin the Giant, because I just never released.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that would work. I remember when we were telling this idea about like to Muffin and Sin the other day. One of them said like the Kirby GameCube, but like that wasn't a full game.
Yeah, I don't think that ever exists as a full game, but I put Doshin the Giant as my like secret game. But,
I think that's that's perfect for a secret game.
Okay, we'll put Doshin the Giant. Because I just know that never released. And we're specifically thinking about the North American GameCube Classic. I know Doshin the Giant released in other countries.
Okay, so that's our 30, and we could be done there, but do we want to like maybe tack on 5 GBA games for like plus a GBA?
Sure, I'm down. But I had a few more that we actually didn't get to talk to, so I'm excited to talk about.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. So I'm really interested. We didn't even mention a Mario Party game.
I don't know. I feel like there's too many. I think the problem with that is that there's too many Mario Parties to choose, so I feel like they just forego it altogether. Because it's like, which one are you gonna do?
I feel like that's true, and also we have, you know, the GameCube. You know, we have some pretty good multiplayer games.
Golf and we have golf and strikers. We have
strikers, Mario, and there's 4 of them. And honestly, you know, if you play a Mario Party game, you know, you sort of get the gist, and I feel like you can get that from other. So I'm okay with skipping. I put Mario Party 4 out of because I feel like they would only put the first. I know, yeah, I know people don't like Mario Party 4. I think they would just do it because it's like the first one on the GameCube. Next, I had Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
See that? Here's the thing with this. I know you were talking about the bongos last night, and you can play that game with just the controller. But I feel like I don't think they would do the bongos, and I feel like they wouldn't put that game on there if they didn't have.
Okay. Yeah.
As much as I do enjoy it, actually, I played the Wii version. I actually really like it.
Yeah, I do want to play Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I could kind of want to put Mario DDR and
I thought
Donkey
about
Konga.
I saw
thought
Mario
about that.
DD, yeah.
But there's no way they're gonna actually do the peripheral for that.
You need the peripheral. Do we want to replace Four Swords with something else? I'm just thinking about it, because when you're reading that list and I hear that, I'm just like, something about it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
I honestly, I kind of get the same vibe.
Put Wario World there.
But honestly, I agree now, because I think just Nintendo just like, even though like I don't like Wario World, it would be there instead of Four Swords
It
Adventure.
would be there.
It would be there. I agree. Yeah, we'll replace Four Swords Adventure with Wario World.
And now for the 5 Game Boy Advance games.
GBA game.
Would they do Mario and Luigi?
I feel like, yeah, they do Mario Luigi specifically because I know if you played that with the Game Boy Advance player.
Oh yeah,
you can
got
play
the little diamonds
with the second controller.
I think after that we would probably get. I could see normal Advance Wars.
Normal Advance Wars? I can see that.
Oh, so that's 2. You think any of the Mario Advanced?
No, I don't think. No, those are Game Boy Advance games. Like you know, they're supposed to be played on Game Boy Advance.
You know what? Because there's not a lot of Kirby representation. Nightmare and Dreamland.
Nightmare and Dream. Okay, I'll put Nightmare and Dreamland.
So that's 3. 2 more. You come up with the other 2.
All right, what do we got? Okay, I feel except we don't have our WarioWare Mega Micro games. I feel like that would be a good one for the GameCube.
That would be, yeah. I feel like, yeah, we can put that on there. That would be good. And then just one more, right? Mega Man Battle Network, maybe?
No, I don't. I feel like for these 5 Game Boy, they're not gonna be like third-party games. I think they're gonna be 5 straight, just Nintendo games.
What? Starfy?
Starfy? No, they're not that cool. Nintendo's not that cool. Come on now.
I'm trying to think about GBA games. I'll be honest, I'm more versed in the normal GBA library than I am the GBA.
How about Fire Emblem? Just the original Fire Emblem.
That, you know what? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. You get like a mini version of each game.
Yeah, and I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let me read back the list, make sure we're happy about it. Mario Sunshine, Star Fox Adventure, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Wave Race Blue Storm, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Mario Strikers, Pikmin 1 and 2, Kirby Air Ride, Tales of Symphonia, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Smash Melee, Pokemon Coliseum, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Soul Calibur 2, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Wario World, Odama, Metroid Prime 1, Cubivore, Double Dash, Pac-Man World 2, F-Zero GX, Chibi Robo, Super Monkey Ball 1, Sonic Heroes, Resident Evil 1, Battalion Wars, Eternal Darkness, and Doshin the Giant. And then 5 GBA games, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Advance Wars, Nightmare in Dreamland, WarioWare Mega Micro Games, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I feel like this would be, if Nintendo were to actually make one, this would be a solid contender for what they would do.
There might be like some third-party games we don't know about.
Yeah.
That, like, someone like Scott DeWaz would know because he plays like every fucking video game known to man.
We should say we got this idea from Scott DeWaz.
Yeah, we did. Did a Wii one.
He did the Wii one. But yeah, Adam, I'd be so down to do another one with like N64 or like GBA or something. Yeah.
Whenever you're down. Maybe we could do that one in person when we meet up.
True.
Do that real life. True.
All right, Adam. Where can everybody find you?
At twitch.tv/donkeyspittle, donkey SHSPITTLE.
And make sure when he streams Chibi Robo, make sure to say Mario Sunshine sucks in the chat.
What the fuck?
Thank you.
It's fucked up. All right. Bye bye.